Hello everyone and welcome to another Tutorial Thursday. My name is Swiss, and for this video we're going to be going over Snake C4, how to use C4, ways to use C4, and so on and so forth. I first off want to thank my patrons for giving me the idea of making a video for this. If you guys want to be a part of that community or to help me with ideas and so on and so forth, please feel free to join my Patreon in the description down below. The link would be right there. But anyways, let's go ahead, let's dive right in. Let's get it.
It's showtime.
Alright, so as usual, we're going to be going over first off the frame data because it's very, very important to understand how the C4 works frame-wise. And we'll also go over the grenade as well. So the down B, the C4 has a 9 frame startup, so that's pretty good, pretty quick. And 24 total frames. It has, if you double jump it, there's no landing lag, so you don't have to really worry about that. And big note, it lasts for 26.6 seconds before it blows up by itself. So in the air, I would personally recommend using the C4 if you have it versus the grenade, depending on, you know, what you have available to you, of course. Because even though grenade comes out on frame 1, you have 21 total frames before you can throw it, and then you have to worry about whatever throw you choose. So whatever throw you choose, you have to worry about that as well, and then the total frames for that to be able to even act out. So if you want to like act out as quickly as possible after doing a B reverse, I highly recommend using the C4. Other than that though, that's pretty much the difference between the two. So again, if you have C4 on you, I recommend using that more over the grenade because it's just, you can act out faster. So just so that you guys know. Anyways, let's go ahead and let's go over the general uses for C4. So the two general uses of C4 are primarily stage control and movement. And we're going to go over stage control real quick. Now, stage control is obviously going to be dependent on the stage itself. Typically, if there's a platform, you more than likely are going to want to put it on the platform because C4 covers below the platform, on top of the platform, and above the platform. So that's a huge wall that you have covered just off of one C4. So you can put that there on flat stages such as like FD. Then you typically want to just either put it like center stage, let's say, so that way it's going to be harder for them to come in because you got the C4 here. Or you can kind of put it right here, then just like camp behind it if you wanted to. So that way, again, covers in front of you, so they're going to feel more pressured to actually not want to come in because of the C4. And then you can also use it as an edge guard. You could put it right here, let's say, and then try to cover neutral, get up and roll, and then have that C4 there as well. A really good way to also use C4 is to just put it down, and then you can like move into your opponent. So move in, use CQC or whatever the case is, and then once they decide like they don't want to be in this area, they might try to push to be over here, and then that's where you can look into getting that C4 there as well. Now movement wise, you want to understand like that B reverse C4 is really good because you can act out pretty quick. So if I double jump B reverse C4, I can back air. But notice how late the back air comes out if I use a grenade. So you have a little bit more time to actually act out of the C4, which is why I brought up the frame data for you guys. So if you have the C4 handy, I do recommend using it over the grenade because it has the less amount of lag out of using B reverse Nikita or Nikita in general, or using grenade. So highly recommend using that. Now you can use it for movement such as that, or you could try to fake your opponent out. So like you could B reverse C4 and then like dash attack, or B reverse C4 and like down tilt, or whatever the case is. If you're stuck in the corner, you could try to like bait options out of your opponent. So you can B reverse C4 to try to like bait them into using an option, and then you can try to get out of the corner that way. So that's another good way to use C4 as well. And those are the general uses of C4 though. So if you guys don't know how to be reverse C4, I highly recommend learning it because it's extremely helpful. If you guys don't know how to do it, basically what you're doing is you want to down B, and then you want to do a half circle backwards in the opposite direction that Snake is facing. So if you do that correctly, then he's going to do a B reverse, such as that. And of course, jumping forward will give you more momentum as well. So just be mindful of that, because if you just jump naturally and do it, like just jump straight up, he doesn't have any momentum, and that's not really what you want if you want to use it as mobility. So be sure that you're jumping forward or moving forward in general. That way you can get the actual B reverse off. And that's pretty much it. So again, those are the general uses. Now we're going to go into a little bit more of advanced uses for it. So some advanced uses for it is going to be more than likely just defense and a little bit of offense. Now, when you're recovering high, you can B reverse a C4, detonate it, and then air dodge towards the ledge or back on stage like I just did right there. So it's very important to understand this tactic, because it's extremely useful for opponents that just won't let you breathe and they're not respecting what you're throwing out, which is primarily going to be your projectiles. So if you're forced to recover high and you know that they're gonna come up and try to hit you, you can B reverse a C4 to fake them out and then detonate it and get that hit. You can also potentially get early kills depending on how high they are when you detonate it, and how light they are as well. So that is very, very important to know. You can also do it center stage. It doesn't have to be like right in this area where you have to like go for the ledge, but this is the general option that most Snake players use. Because you could just go for the ledge. It feels a lot safer, especially if they actually run under this. Let's say they don't jump up there and they just get by the C4, then going for the ledge at the least is going to help you out, at least giving you that invincibility frames for the ledge hang, and then try to get off of the ledge that way. But it's a good get off me tool, pretty much. Now, another thing you could do is, like, if you get hit, you can drop the C4 and then detonate it to try to get them off of you. Now, it's not highly recommended. It does help though, but you have to understand that each matchup is different. So certain characters move faster than others, they jump higher than others, they have better airspeed or, you know, better drift and all that. So again, it's very, very all dependent. But if you do get hit, you can like jump C4 and then detonate it to try to get them off of you. Again though, please make sure that you're not using this tool a lot, because again, certain characters move faster than others and can get up there and just hit you for doing it. So be extremely cautious. So after that, we're gonna go over a little bit of offense. So you can, you know, double jump C4 and then blow it up as far as an edge guard goes. So like if you notice your opponent is always going low every time they recover and you don't want to go down there to challenge them, then you could try to go for a safer option, double jump C4, detonate, or you could mix it with the B reverse and an up B. And the reason why you could use an up B is because you could detonate it much sooner, right? So you can look into detonating it like right on the ledge, because if you double jump C4, it kind of blows up like right under the ledge. But if you have the timing down with the up B, you can get it right on that ledge to look for like a 2-frame of some sorts. And also with the up B, it just mixes up timing of the C4, so you have more time to just want to detonate it. So it's just more of a stall, so that could be helpful as well. You can also use the grenade, so you can have the grenade and the C4, if you wanted to have like that combo. And so another thing as far as offense goes is you can B reverse a C4, then get a back air. So if you run off the stage and then B reverse a C4, you can get a back air. And if you do it correctly with the right timing, like I did just there, you can get the stick on the stage itself. And then you could use that for later if they're like over here or something like that. You can blow it up. Now this tactic isn't necessarily 100% useful, but it does help with certain recoveries. So I find it very, very useful against Link, but you don't want to use it against everybody. And not only that, but if you miss, you might be put in disadvantage. So your opponent might be able to actually punish you for doing this. So be very, very mindful of that and very careful when you're actually using this technique. Another form of offense that you could use it for is going to be reversing it off of the ledge. Now, most people, when they get off a ledge, they like to use like the grenade and then have a grenade facing the opponent. But you could choose to also use the B reverse option with the C4. And if you're able to get it, you can get a back air off. So that's another form of offense as far as getting off of the ledge, because if you guys don't know, Snake's get up attack is extremely bad in this game. It has almost no range as far as like the get up attack goes. So it's very important that you understand that. And if you want to choose like an actual offensive option, you can use the back air. Now again, this one is not really too useful because if they do shield, then you have to deal with Snake's back air landing lag, which is a lot. It's like 20 something frames, I believe. But it is another option to just get off of the ledge. And so the other offensive option most commonly used is the jump forward C4, jump back, and then detonate. This is a pretty good fake out because most people will actually like think you're coming in with an aerial, and when they do so, they're gonna opt to look for a shield grab or a grab in general. So in that case, when you jump forward and then jump back, they're gonna normally look for the grab, and then in doing so, you're gonna get the C4 off. I generally like to do it at near the end game of a match, like just jump forward, C4, then jump back if they're at like kill percent. But I only look for it at like once. I don't necessarily spam it too often, but it can be pretty safe because when you put that C4 there, normally they're gonna shield, so they're forced to have to like respect it. And even if they do shield it, you're way over here anyways, so they're gonna have a real hard time actually chasing you for actually doing this because they have to worry about the C4 right there. So that's gonna be extremely beneficial in as far as like using the C4 for that option. And now we're going to be going over two things. That's going to be stickies and recovery. If you guys have played Brawl or know anything about Brawl, you should know that blowing yourself up with C4 gives you the option to up B again. And this is very beneficial because if you feel as if you're not going to make it to the ledge, you can blow yourself up, be able to up B again, and then go for the ledge. So very beneficial for that. I highly recommend using it at the low percents, and then at the higher percents, you're going to want to use grenade because at that point, you're going to end up killing yourself with the C4, and that's typically around 120, 130. Even if you're at the very bottom of the screen, you're still going to end up killing yourself. So very important to know that at around that range, you want to start using the grenade rather than the C4. Now, again, one of the uses is if you're not going to make it towards the ledge, you could do this. But if you also get hit at an angle where you're uncomfortable with, you could, you know, just blow yourself up real quick and then just up B like that. Or you could save your jump, let's say. So if I were to jump like that, I still have my second jump and the up B. So that could just give you more of a reason to be able to recover high. So as soon as you get launched off, you can just blow yourself up, use your second jump to jump, and then up B that way. One tip I would give you guys as far as using the C4 recovery is never to DI in the stage. A lot of people that have played Brawl, or at least has played this game in general, knows what you're more than likely going to do, and it takes a long time for Snake to set it up. So your opponent's going to know for sure what you're trying to do, and they're going to look into countering it with an aerial or a spike or whatever they want, to be honest. So in this case being said, I highly recommend to never DI into the stage, because that's just giving yourself it's just giving your opponent a chance to actually punish you. I typically like to just DI away and then up B that way. That way it's harder for them to actually punish you for wanting to use the C4 for a recovery tactic. And now we're going to be going over the stickies. So if you guys are new to this game or don't know how Snake works at all, Snake can sticky you by pressing down B right next to you. And notice how it blinks red. Now once it stops blinking red, then it's transferable. So if I touch Inkling, it goes right back onto Inkling, and then vice versa. So getting the stick is extremely good because your opponent is going to feel pressured to actually hold shield. They're going to be very careful. They're going to sidestep. They're going to air dodge. They're going to hold shield, whatever the case is. So that just gives you time to actually pressure them and to force them into looking for like a grab, because back throw detonate is a true combo. Such as that. That's a true combo. And it's going to be very good to actually try to look for that. You can also do it into up smash as well, and that's also a true combo. But one thing I want to tell you guys real quick, as you saw a little bit earlier, I got hit with my own C4, and the reason that happened is because C4 does tend to drop off as well. It is extremely RNG based. Some people have tried to look for reasons on why it happens, but overall it's just pretty much RNG. It has a chance to just fall off, and in doing so you can end up hitting yourself with the C4. Now one of the ways to pretty much escape this is if you do the back throw, you want to jump forward and then detonate it. Notice how it's still a true combo in the combo counter. And in doing so, if it does drop off on you, you're jumping away from the C4 to avoid getting hit. So, if it does fall off, you're not getting hit by the C4, but you don't have to risk taking 20% or just dying by blowing yourself up. So very important that you guys do that at the high percents to avoid actually hitting yourself. So just as a reference. When it comes to the C4 as well, you can also self-stick now. Self-sticking was an old advanced tech that was found back in like March of last year in 2019, and ended up getting patched out pretty quick, but it was just a tech that was pretty hard to pull off, and in doing so wasn't really worth the time of actually doing it. But now it's back. Someone did find it out, I forgot who, but there's a way to actually self-stick now. And the thing about the self-stick is that it does go off of you immediately. So when you when you stick someone, you have about 5 seconds before it just switches on, or I think it's 3 seconds. I'm not sure the exact timing, but generally you have some time before you can actually like switch it over. With the self stick, it's the opposite. It switches over immediately. So, and it falls off immediately with whatever Snake touches. So in this case, it's not really useful in my opinion. And it does require your opponent to be on the ledge. So notice how it's on Snake's hand, right? If I crouch, it falls off. So just as a reference towards that. But yeah, it's not extremely useful. If you really want to sauce on someone, as they would call it, then feel free to go for it. But they have to be on this ledge. You have to be behind them, and then you have to just pretty much down B, and then you get it that way. Even if you up B, and you land, it still falls off because Snake touches the ground with his right hand, which is where the C4 is. So it'll automatically fall off. Even if you do get the C4, you're forced to go up high, so you're forced to recover, which is going to be Snake's disadvantage, and you're also forced to be off stage. So again, another reason why it's not super useful, but if you did want to go for it, you can go for it. It's there basically. Last thing I do want to give a tip on is if you stick someone and it gets back onto you, don't feel pressured in any way, because if you get stuck by yourself and you're the one that controls when the C4 detonates besides the timer, so if it's on yourself, feel free to just look for the grab, because if you do get the grab, let's say you can just like pummel them until it switches over and then get the detonate that way. So don't feel any form of pressure if you do get stuck back on, because again, you control when it blows up besides the timer. Then you're gonna have to be real careful. Other than that though, just be mindful that you can look for the grab, the up smash, or you can try to just get it back on them and then create another situation where they feel pressured. But that's generally everything about the C4 that you guys should know about. I feel like the C4 is an extremely good tool. It kills people very early, and it's just as strong as up tilt. So I hope you guys learned something from all this. If you guys like the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel as well. Again, my name is Swiss. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all on the next video. Bye now.
Never duplicate you, never multiply two. Everyone copy and paste, mask all up in on their face. Disney fantasy and PH, they are cool with their complacent. You feel it in you, then you brush it off you. Insignificant, but you got something we want, and your whole life is a taunt, cause you will not just comply. Waking up for your day.